Welcome, Transformers fans. My name is Composite EnerJoe, and today we'll be bringing you my review of the Transformers Thrilling 30 Voyager class Sandstorm. And here he is in his really sweet looking dune buggy mode. Yeah, that's right. This is supposed to be an armored dune buggy. And as you can plainly see by his gigantic wheels, he actually rolls quite nicely. He really does. He rolls very well. He's really good at rolling. And it's just an overall really nice design. And if you do see some parts that look vaguely familiar, I'll actually explain that a little bit better when I get into the facts as to why he looks kind of familiar. And when I'm transforming him, you'll see some similarities with a previous figure, because he has some roots with another figure. But that aside, by itself, this is actually a very sweet looking dune buggy mode. I actually really like it. We don't get too many dune buggies. And this is actually a very, very nice design for one. And this, yes, you can tell this also moves, so you can have the windows here. But it closes down to sort of add the armored look even better. He does, Sandstorm here does come with one weapon, and it's this missile launcher here, which it's another friction launcher. So when you pull this back, it launches this missile. Nothing too special, it's a missile. So nothing too special. So let's pop that back in. There we go. Well, again, that's it. Little friction missile. And this goes in here. You just slide this in here, right on through, and there we have him. The gun in his vehicle mode. And it actually looks pretty nice. I think this actually works very well in this vehicle mode. It's very rare, like I don't say that too often, because usually when you just put the weapon on top of the vehicle, it looks kind of off. Here, it actually works quite nicely. I don't know why, it just works. Could be the colors, the blends, or whatever, but it works. I like it. So, that's it with the vehicle mode. Let's transform this dune buggy. Let me put this off to the side. And Sandstorm is actually a triple changer. So yeah, he has a 3 modes. He has the robot mode, the dune buggy mode, and then the next mode I'm going to transform into, which is a VTOL mode. And if you remember from, I guess, previous VTOLs that I've done, yeah, I've done VTOL. VTOL stands for vertical takeoff and landing. Basically, this thing can hover. So it's a helicopter that can basically hover, if that makes any sense. You'll see. It'll probably look familiar when I transform. So let me get on to transformation. So pull this up. Pull this pieces up. And then we take this, pull it forward. Not forward, like pull it back. These will connect together. Yeah, connect together, leave those up. Then you separate this down, fix this entire assembly, and pull it forward. Rotate these down, lift these up for clearance. Then bring these down. Those see like 2 ports here for these pegs that you're supposed to connect them. So you have to bring these back enough, angle them so that they can peg in there. There we go. Lift these up. The back is pretty much done. And then pull these out. These will be the landing gear. And then for this part, just pull this down. And let's see. Well, you don't need to actually do this. You can bring these down. Do you need to do this? I don't remember. I think for this you leave it like this. And when you bring this down, there's also a peg port that you connect. Bring that down. Lift this up a bit. It's getting big. Voyager class. Stand right there. Same thing here. It'll connect there. And then you just, whoops. Pull that down, bring it, and then you just leave it. Okay, then let's go down. Yeah, there we go. I think when I transformed them before getting rid of this video, I added an extra step, and that was not needed. Just leave it like that. And you see little parts here where you can connect it to, which may or may not connect. Not really too important. Well, there you go. You can get it there. Perfect. If not, no too big of a deal. Also, forgot another step. This part definitely looks kind of familiar. And if to let you know, it is easier on this guy to lift this up. Come on, I just said it was easier. There we go. See, yeah, I can do it on camera with this one. So yeah. Said connect it there, bring it back, connect to that. Fine, there. And then same thing with this side. So let me lift that up. Lift this one up. I think this is the easier one. Just lift that up. There we go. Rotate it forward to hide the wheel. Fold this back down. Fold this down, and there you have it. Then you come in here, pull out the landing gear. You probably already figured out what this, what other figure this reminds you of, and I'm gonna say it now that no, actually I'll still save it for later. As to what this is based on. Even though it's pretty obvious now, you have the two landing gears right there. And here is Sandstorm in his VTOL mode. And I really like this VTOL mode. It looks really, really nice. The wheels do spin, and I love the detail that when you flip this over, you have the tire on one side, and then over you have the top of like the actual blades. And these do move to give the effect that they do move. As if he was like hovering. This is actually really, really cool. It does think that these are here. This is clearly the grill of the dune buggy mode, but what are you gonna do? There are some, since this is a triple change, there are some consequences to at least make the modes work. You have to do some sacrifices. But yeah, this is a very nice VTOL mode. I really, really like it. And like I said, you can actually move these landing gears all the way in. And also, just like the other figure, which I don't even know why I'm hiding it now, but I'm gonna keep doing it. You can take the gun and you can either plug it here on top and do that, which is fine, but you can also do it one other way that also works. And when you fold down the handle, there's actually a molded in landing gear. So you actually could have the landing gear out and bring this in. And just like the other character, and I'm just gonna say it's Springer, just like Springer, you can you fold this in and then make sure you etch that in there. And boom, he's got it. But unlike Springer, there actually is a molded landing gear here, so he can like sit on a table with this more effectively. And I'm gonna be doing a lot of comparisons to the Springer since this is I'm just gonna say it. Sandstorm here is a very, very, and I mean incredibly extensive retool of the of his fellow wrecker, Thrilling 30 Voyager Springer. This is a very, very extensive retool, and in a lot of ways, I think it fixes a lot of the flaws that the Springer figure had. And I'll get into more detail when I get into the robot mode and the facts and my final thoughts. I'll get into more details in my final thoughts. So let's get on to his transformation into his robot mode. So got the weapon, pull this out, and then set it off to the side. So into his robot mode. Lift this up. Lift this up. Fold them back like that. Let's stand them up. And you come in here. Fold the feet out. Like, they kept a lot of fun. Like, these feet are exactly the same as the Springer figure, but like the legs, like they made a lot. They did keep some of the transformations, but they actually took away some steps, which is pretty cool. So this guy is actually a little bit easier to transform than a Springer. He has a couple less steps and has other steps replaced. So got that. Then pull the head. He also Sandstorm. He also has a smaller head, so weaving it through the cockpit is actually a lot easier. Well, don't lie to me now. Come on, I just said it was easier. Come on, I said it was easier. Aren't you? Oh, wait a minute. Forgot to take this out. Need to have the landing gear out, so that then you can feed it in. Come on. There we go. Get it up there and feed it in. Yep. And like I said, it's easier to do that. And then lift this up and lift it up. And there is a connection there. And there is a Sandstorm's head. And yeah, Sandstorm has really nice light piping. Not even doing much. Oh, I'm not done with the transformation. Yeah, then you lift this up. Lift this up. There is a peg here where you can fold that up like that. And then this, either leave it like that, but I like to fold it down like this. And is there a peg for that? I think. You can do whatever you want, so I tend to just do that, leave it like that hanging. It doesn't really peg anywhere, and then you have the VTOL wings out. And you separate, and here we have Sandstorm in his pretty cool robot mode. I gotta say, it's pretty cool. And yeah, overall, you kind of do see, like, in terms of like the skeleton, it's basically Springer. They took the Springer mold and heavily, and I mean heavily, retooled them. The only way you notice that, the only way that you would know that this is Springer would be when you transform both of them. They have a lot of the same steps, and some of the and they kept some of the features. The arms are basically the same. Well, the arms are basically the same. Mine is like they changed a few parts, but it's basically the same. The chest is the same. Like a lot of the transformations the same. But by looking at it, it's only like the arms and the legs that they really keep, and that they doesn't really look anything like Springer. Other than that, they really changed a lot of the other stuff. They made his transformation a little bit easier. Like I said, they shortened the number of steps. They made him a little bit easier to transform, and like I said, he has very, very nice light piping. Unlike Springer, who I think they actually painted his eyes, so it was like, what was the point? But Sandstorm has really nice light piping. See, the light is not even on top of him, yet you can clearly see that he has light piping. Really, really nice. Also, the face, pretty cool. Not 100% G1 accurate. I think this is more accurate to, I think his more, what is it, IDW appearance. But still a really nice face. Not bad. Then we head to his weapon. We just hold in any arm. And that's it. Nothing more than that. Articulation, pretty much the same as Springer, although because of this backpack, because of this pretty cool backpack, which you just imagine he can hover. Because of this backpack, and I guess you could fold it back, but then it makes him unnecessarily top heavy. I prefer to have him displayed with these out, since it adds more of a presence on, in my opinion. And then articulation's got the same as Springer's. Are these ball joints? Trying to see. Yeah, they're ball joints. Ball joints. Ball joints. And not ball joints. Or, I don't even know what these are. I think these are, yeah, I say universal joints. You can do a very nice kick. Rotation there. Really good knee. And some foot movement. Plus, you got rotation there. Elbow. Can do in and out at the wrist. And can rotate at the wrist as well. So yeah, he can do a wide range of movements, just like Springer. You're probably gonna give me like I don't want to compare him too much to Springer, but I kind of have to. But yeah, you can get him into some really cool poses. And I'm trying to, since I've done it with the and since I mentioned it before. It's time to get to the facts, I guess. He was apparently no, I actually looked into it. Although, when I looked up information on Sandstorm, on this mold, they are like, apparently he has 2 repaints, but when I saw them, they're actually two more repaints of the Springer mold, not the Sandstorm mold. So yeah, surprisingly enough, this figure has not been repainted. It's unique to just Sandstorm, which is really cool. That is actually pretty rare. That is rare, because apparently the 2 supposed repaints of this mold are actually, when you look at them, they're repaints of the Springer mold, because they don't have the VTOL or the big wheels or anything. They have all the features of a Springer. So that's really cool. So yeah. And personality-wise, as I already mentioned, I think I already mentioned it earlier, Yeah, Sandstorm is yet another wrecker, is another member of the original Generation 1 wreckers, alongside Springer and Roadbuster. And he is a triple changer, being one of the first Autobot triple changers, just like Springer. And I keep comparing him to Springer. I don't want to do that. I think he's a solid figure in his own right. Well, not yet. I'll get to that yet. Not yet. About a couple seconds away from mentioning my overall thoughts. And personality-wise, I've been noticing a trend with these wreckers. Basically, what was it? Springer was essentially the action hero. Roadbuster was contemplating what was sort of afraid, was sort of fearing the end of the war because he wouldn't know what to do afterwards. And Sandstorm just gets bored easily. He gets bored so easily that he can't wait to start fighting in order to relieve his boredom. So he fights because he's pretty much bored, but he is still a good guy. So these wreckers, I still got one more wrecker. One more Thrilling 30 Voyager wrecker I'm gonna review, and I'm pretty sure he has a similar mindset to these guys. So basically, the wreckers are all have like Decepticon-esque mindsets, but they're not jerks like Decepticons. They're still overall good guys, but they just love to fight, kind of like a Decepticon. Pretty weird, but it makes them stand out more. And I think that's why a lot of people really like the wreckers, myself included. I do like this little sub-team. It's really cool. And, yeah. So, okay. So that's it with the facts. No repaints. Pretty cool character. Not bad. And it's also a triple changer. And he's got really cool modes in both. So let's go on with the overall. Overall, Sandstorm is a fantastic figure. I think he's a great figure. Now it's going to be my final comparisons to Springer. As a incredibly extensive retool that I have both him and obviously I also have Springer. But yet I don't feel like I bought the same toy. I'm like, this is the perfect example of a retool. You basically change the mold. It's overall the same. It's mechanically, like when you transform it, it's basically the same toy, the same transformation as Springer with some like small changes. But it's like design-wise, it looks completely different. It's not just a repaint. Like the weapon is also different. Granted, I think Springer was given better weapons. Sorry, Sandstorm. Your gun is cool, but he's got a double cannon, a double friction missile cannon, and a sword. Sadly, they only gave him the one big gun, but it is a pretty cool big gun. So, yeah. Like, when you transform him, it's almost a copy-paste of Springer with some couple of added and removed steps. Like, where Springer, you're supposed to, like, fold the arms up in the VTOL mode, you don't do it here. I actually tried to do that, and it gets in the way of the VTOL blades, of the VTOL wings. Of the hover wings, I guess. So yeah, overall, this is a fantastic and solid figure. I do consider it an improvement over the Springer mold, with one exception. The Dune Buggy mode, I consider it a little bit better than the the car mode, the armored car mode of Springer. The VTOL mode, I also consider it a little bit better than the helicopter mode of Springer. The transformation is a little bit better. They simplified it. They made it a little bit easier and a little bit smoother. Because there was an issue with Springer that I had and apparently other people had, where a lot of the pegs and the ports would not stay connected too strongly. They were a bit loose. And I also had similar problems and whatnot, but it wasn't that bad. Like, Springer's still a fantastic figure. Like, it was repainted 6 other times, while Sandstorm here, unfortunately, was not repainted. And, what else? But, I think Springer's robot mode is a little bit better than Sandstorm. Just a little bit. And that's mainly because Springer does not have this backpack. Does not have these back wings that kind of weigh him down a bit. And actually get in the way of some posability, because you can't move his arm back because of this. And I say, if you try and push him back like this, he then gets top heavy. So you need this to like equal it out. But I do like this because it makes him stand out even more, and like I just imagine he's able to use this to fly. to sort of hover around the battlefield, like, you know, mowing down his Deceptipunks. Mowing down the Deceptipunks. So yeah. Oy, darn it. Come on. I have good things. Just good things. But yeah, and that's all, and that's it for my comparisons to Springer. I feel that overall Sandstorm is a tiny bit better in the vehicle modes, and the transformation is an improvement over Springer. I do firmly believe that. But it feels like a bit of a downgrade because of this huge backpack. They downgraded Sandstorm's robot mode over Springer. So I do consider Springer to have a much better robot mode. Well, not much better, a little bit better, because he doesn't have the backpack. Because he doesn't have these wings that give him top heaviness and restrict a little bit of his arm movement. But like I said, it's a very minor thing. But Sandstorm overall is a fantastic figure. Fantastic figure, and like I said, in some aspects, an improvement over Springer, and in others, a slight setback. And like I said, I consider Sandstorm here to be the best way, the absolute best way to do a retool, where you change it, where the only thing that is the same is essentially the transformation. Everything else is completely different. Like the molding and everything, like the only things that I think are the same are the overall basic structure of the legs, the feet, and the arms. I think were kept the same. Everything else was basically changed. So yeah, it is a different toy. It's like mechanically it's the same toy, but when you look at it, it is different. Like, he's different enough where it's justified getting, where it doesn't hurt getting him. I was actually very happy when I got him. And now, I guess final thought, who do I like more, Sandstorm or Springer? Like I said, it's basically, I like them both evenly. Like I said, I also like Roadbuster. I think I like Roadbuster a little bit more than the other two. I think out of the, well, no, I'm getting ahead of myself. But yeah. So, and I already mentioned he's one of the original G1 wreckers. So, yeah, overall, I think I've already said overall like a bunch of times in this video. But yes, fantastic figure, great figure. Even if you have Springer, I recommend having him too. They both look really cool together. So yeah, this has been my review, and I think this video's gone on way too long. So yeah, this has been my review of the Transformers Thrilling 30 Voyager class Sandstorm. And this is Composite EnerJoe signing off. Peace out.